Hey there, and welcome to Jaguar Talk at South Texas College. My name is Francisco Perez, and with me today are Hector Cerda, Coordinator of Enrollment Services, and Amanda Ramirez, Testing Specialist. Today we'll be talking about the admission and registration process to the college. So let's get started. So Hector, sometimes students are a little bit confused about applying to college. So what would you say is the first step for students to apply into STC?
So the first step is very simple. It's go through applytexas.org to submit their application. That is the website that the state created to submit applications for public colleges and universities in the state. It is free and it should take no more than 20 minutes to complete.
Okay, and how long does the application actually take to go through the system?
Once it's submitted, it should take no more than 2 business days for us to process it.
Okay. And is the process the same for a student who is transferring in and for a student who is a first-time college student?
Yes, the only difference is the type of documents that they submit. A high school graduate will submit their high school transcript, and a college transfer will submit transcripts from all previously attended colleges and universities.
I know sometimes we get a lot the question of why do we have to have all the transcripts on file for the previous colleges or universities? Why is it so important for us to have that?
It is important not just because it is the standard admissions requirement for South Texas College, but also because it helps us see the entire academic history and transfer in as many courses as we can. It also is a component for financial aid, so it is important that every transcript is submitted in a timely manner.
Okay. And for students submitting these transcripts, what options do they have to submit them to us?
So transcripts can be snail mailed to our physical address, but more than likely they will be sent via email as a secure PDF, and they can be submitted to admissions@southtexascollege.edu. And we also do electronic exchange with other Texas institutions.
And it's important that we actually mention that these need to be the official transcripts for the student, correct?
Correct. Generally speaking, an official transcript is a document that is sent to STC directly by the issuing institution.
Okay. And with all the circumstances surrounding COVID-19, what measures is the Enrollment Center taking to make sure that services continue in a safe and healthy manner?
Yes, one of our main priorities is to make sure that not only students, but our staff is also safe during the pandemic. So some of the things that we have implemented are we install acrylic dividers on the counters, so staff can still interact with students as needed. We have hand sanitizers at the entrances, so students are welcome to use them as needed as well. And we are on a rotation to sanitize all of the computers in the labs, so these machines are still available for use for students.
Okay, and we also offer appointments to the students, correct?
Absolutely, yes. We implemented a new system for appointments. If you go to the main STC website, on the COVID-19 shortcut, you can submit your appointment. And if you don't have an appointment, it's okay. We can still schedule one for you when you get on campus.
Okay, perfect. And if students have any questions, who can they reach out to?
For general questions, they can reach the call center. That's 956-872-8323. And via email at admissions@southtexascollege.edu or registration@southtexascollege.edu.
And so what's the difference between the admissions at southtexascollege.edu and the registration at southtexascollege.edu?
The admissions is for general questions. So that's again admissions@southtexascollege.edu. Any questions that you may have regarding your application status, your admission status, we can assist through that. The other email address, registration@southtexascollege.edu, is for registration, troubleshooting, and assistance. So students that are already enrolled that have issues trying to add a class, drop a class, they can reach out there.
Okay, perfect. And so for the next step, we're going to be cutting to Amanda. So Amanda, under what circumstances should a student be testing for TSI?
All students who plan to enroll at South Texas College, including students in high school, enrolling in a college level course must take the TSI exam before enrolling in any college level credit coursework.
Okay, and I know that right now things are a little bit different. So how can students register for the TSI right now?
Yes, right now, it's different for testing. The Student Assessment Center is currently taking appointments for TSI through proctoring online with Examity. Just to give you a little bit more information on what Examity is a secure online proctoring service that allows you to take Accuplacer tests when it's most convenient at home. So this service is available for 24/7 for you to test. You can test any day, any time that's most convenient for you.
Okay, and apart from the TSI, are there any other test scores that students can submit to exempt the TSI?
Yes, we do have some. These may exempt you from TSI. We have ACT, SAT. These scores are valid for 5 years after testing. Your STAR scores from high school as well are valid for 5 years after testing. We have our military and active duty personnel serving for at least 3 years preceding enrollment. So with the proper documentation turned in, we can go ahead and review it to see if that will qualify you for exemption. Our transfer students from a private or independent institution or even out-of-state accredited institution can turn in your transcripts to see if your coursework can go ahead and transfer into our institution. Our last one is our certificate programs. All of our certificate programs are maybe 1 year or less. So you need to also make sure that if you are in a certificate program, that it is a TSI exempt program, because there are certificate programs that say TSI liable, which means you would need to test. But if it does say TSI exempt, then you do not need to test to be in that certificate program.
Perfect. So if students do have any other questions about testing, who can they reach out to in your department?
Yes. So, the health and safety of our students and community is important to us. So please just be advised that the Student Assessment Center is open to assist students by appointment. If you need in-person, face-to-face, assistance, make sure you can set up an appointment with us. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns about testing or even Examity, you can contact our main number at 956-872-3484. Or you can send us an email at testing@southtexascollege.edu. Our staff is here. We're ready to help with any questions you have with testing.
And so after submitting your test scores, what is going to be the next step for students?
So what happens after you test is those scores get uploaded into our system. We go ahead and update your TSI status. Once that happens, the next step would be to get advised on those scores and see what classes you can take based on your degree plan.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Amanda, for the information.
Thank you.
Advising is recommended to all students. You may reach your advisor by emailing the advising office at advising@southtexascollege.edu. If an appointment is necessary, they'll go ahead and schedule an appointment for you after receiving your email. You may also self-advise by using the DegreeWorks application on your JAGNet account. So at this point, students have spoken to an advisor, they know what courses to take. So what is the next step for them to register into their courses?
The next step is to log in to our student portal, which for South Texas College is called JAGNet.
Okay, and where can students find JAGNet?
JAGNet can be accessed in one of two ways. The first one is directly to go in through jagnet.southtexascollege.edu, or more commonly through the main South Texas College website, southtexascollege.edu, and there's a link on the top right corner of the landing page.
And sometimes students run across some registration errors that prevent them from registering for classes. So what are some of the most common ones that they may see, and how do they fix them?
So one of the most common errors when it comes to registration is the prerequisite error, which basically means that you are taking a class that you have not met the requirements for. So for example, students trying to complete Calculus 1 without having taken pre-calc, then they're going to run into this error. The best way to fix it or to prevent it is to make a meeting with your academic advisor, make sure that you understand your degree plan so you're taking the courses in the order that they are designed to be taken. A similar error is the core requisite error, and that is going to happen for courses that are joint. They're expected to be taken in tandem. A lot of our developmental courses are now paired up with college level courses. So those need to be registered at the same time. And lastly, the other error that we see very commonly is it's a hold. That can be caused by different reasons. The most common one is a financial balance. The other one could be a pending document that has to be submitted still. And the good thing about this error is that when it pops up, it will tell you exactly what the cause of the issue is and how to fix it.
Perfect. So by now the student is registered, they're good to go. And then next big question is, where do they see their schedule?
From that same registration screen, once they are completed, one of the tabs towards the center of the screen will say schedule. They're able to see it there, they're able to print it, and they're able to incorporate it to their calendars on their smartphones or their laptops. They can also access it by logging on through JACnet, and on the landing page, there will be a button that says My Schedule.
Perfect. So the last step, although not all students, fall under this last step, it depends on your age. What is it? I've heard that it's the immunization record. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yes, the state of Texas has now mandated that students on the age of 21 or under submit their vaccination record for the bacterial meningitis. This is submitted at the admissions office on any of our main campuses or via email as well, admissions@southtexascollege.edu. Students that for religious reasons need an exemption, those are available on the Texas Health Services website. And the recommendation is, especially for high school graduates, to check their records because the high schools already require it, so they may already have it and just need to present their record.
Well, this concludes our Jaguar Talk. If you have any questions regarding any of the services discussed today, you may reach us at the phone numbers and emails provided throughout the video. Until next time, and remember Jaguars, keep learning.